Hello, and welcome to Southwest Cyberport's WP Coffee Break, WordPress answers in the time it takes to have a cup of coffee. Today we're going to look at the layout of a typical WordPress page. What I mean by that is we're going to look at a web page for a WordPress post, identify all the parts, and see where each one ties into something in the dashboard. Before we start, a quick word about themes. The look of any WordPress page is largely determined by which theme you use. And within a single theme, you may have several page templates available, each of which will make your posts look different. We're going to focus on the look within a specific theme, and then we'll change the site's theme at the end to see how that affects the look. We'll start by looking at a post. Here's the one we constructed in our Gutenberg 101 video. At the top, we have the header, which contains the title and tagline, and below that, the menu. This theme uses a two-column layout, so the body of the post is vertically divided into two sections. On the left, we have the post content, and on the right, the sidebar. Other common configurations would be a single column layout, which would not have a sidebar at all, or a three-column layout, which would have the content in the center and a left sidebar and right sidebar. The sidebar is the place where you can dock widgets, and we'll see in a minute how to change which widgets are in the sidebar. If we scroll to the bottom, we have the footer, which is currently empty. Now let's go to the dashboard to see where each of these sections are controlled. In WordPress, themes control the look and feel of the site, both on the front end that the public sees and here on the dashboard that only the site owner sees. The downside of this extreme flexibility is that themes could use different interfaces to change their settings. A few years ago, WordPress introduced the Theme Customizer to give them all a common interface for settings. In some themes, you can only control a few things from the customizer, and in others, you can access almost everything. Just be aware that all of your theme settings might not be in one place. I mention this now because the first thing we want to look at is the header. When you select the header item under Appearance, you're put into the Theme Customizer. You can tell you're in the customizer because the regular dashboard menus have all gone away, and you have this layout showing the front page of your site with a sidebar of theme-related settings you can edit. Here we are in the Header Media section. Header Media is just the background image or video shown at the top of the page. You can see I have previously uploaded 3 images, and it will randomize uploaded headers. That means each time someone visits the site, they'll see one of these images chosen at random. Now over here on the right, you can see the mock-up of what your page will look like with these blue pencil buttons. To edit one of these elements, click the pencil like so. Now the sidebar changes from editing header media to editing the site identity. The site identity includes things like the title, tagline, and logo. We can change the site title, click Publish at the top, and we're done. To get back to the dashboard, click this X in the corner. Now let's look at the menu. From Appearance, we select Menus, and this is what it looks like before any menu has been created. Not every site wants a menu, but many do. It's quite easy to make one. We type in a name and hit Create. The first thing you want to do with any new menu is check this box to tell it where the menu should appear. If you make a new menu and it doesn't show up on your site, make sure this box is checked. Now we select the pages we want to be on the menu, click Add, and they show up on the right. We can change the order of the items to suit. In addition to pages, we can also add posts to the menu. Click Posts, select the ones we want, and add. Save the menu, and then view the site to see the results. Here's our menu with the 4 items we put on it. Now let's look at the body section of the page. The left side is going to hold whatever post you're looking at. The right side has the sidebar. Let's go to the dashboard and see how to manage the sidebar. Under Appearance, we click Widgets. On the left side of the screen, we have the list of all the available widgets, and on the right, we see which widgets have been added to different areas. In this theme, there are 3 places we can dock widgets: the blog sidebar and 2 different footer sections. From this interface, we can rearrange the order of the widgets or remove ones that we don't want. I think the default list is a little busy, just too much information, so I'm going to remove a few. To remove one, just drag it to the left side and it goes away. We can also add others by dragging them from the left to the right. let's add a calendar to this one. This brings us to the last part of a page, the footer. We've been looking at a post in this example, and posts have some stuff at the bottom that kind of seem like part of the footer. But these sections with the categories and the next and previous post links are actually part of the post format of this theme, not the footer. The footer is the area below this, which you can see is currently empty. Let's go back to the widget editor in the dashboard. I'd like to put a search bar at the bottom and a bit of text with our copyright statement. I drag and drop the search bar into footer 1, then I drag this text widget into footer 2. You could enter a whole bunch of text here if you want, but I just need one line, so I put it in the title and save. Now let's see how that looks. I visit the post, scroll down, and you can see our new footer items right here. This theme puts footer 1 on the left and footer 2 on the right. It would be easy to swap these around if we wanted. Let's do it real quick and just see how it's done. You might be wondering, where do these widgets come from? The ones you see here are all included with every WordPress install. Your theme might add more widgets, and many plugins also provide widgets. For example, a map plugin might provide a widget so you can put a map to your location on the sidebar. Now that we've seen all the elements of this page in this theme, let's change the theme to see how that affects the look of the site. In the dashboard, under Themes, I've installed a few previously, so I can pick any of these and activate them. Let's try Minimal Dark and see what that looks like. Here's the header, not too different from before. The title and tagline are in different places with different fonts, but it's the same information here. Notice there is no menu on this page. Or is there? They've added a little hamburger button up here, and when we click it, we see the menu items we created before. So this is a pretty good example of having the same information, but a totally different presentation. Now let's look at the body. This is the main blog page, which shows the list of posts. Note that on this theme, there is no sidebar on the blog page. Also, instead of listing the posts sequentially down the page, they're arranged in this grid called a masonry layout. We click to see a full post, and we see that this page has a sidebar. It has the same items on it that we added while using the other theme. Notice, however, that our footer items seem to be gone. But our search box is here on the sidebar now instead of in the footer. What gives? Remember I said themes provide different areas to dock widgets? When you switch from one theme to another, if the two themes don't have exactly the same widget areas, your widgets might get assigned to different areas. It's pretty common when you change themes to have to go through the widgets and put them where you want them to be in the context of the new theme. This theme apparently has an extra area called the Shop sidebar and 3 footer regions, but none of the footers have the same name as our previous themes, footer 1 and footer 2. So our widgets got juggled around when the theme changed. Happily, this is easy to fix. We open up all these widget areas to see what got put where, then drag and drop them where we want. Now visit the site, and we can see our footer items have moved to where we intended. I hope this has helped demystify the building blocks of a WordPress page and where to go to change them. We have videos coming soon that go more in depth on menus, widgets, and themes, so remember to subscribe to get notified when they're out. We've covered a lot in this video, so here's a quick recap. We saw that each WordPress page is built up from a set of elements and how to control and change those elements from the WordPress dashboard. The different elements are the header, which holds the header image, title, and tagline, the optional menu, the body, which contains your post content, the sidebar, which contains widgets, and the footer, which also has widgets. We talked about how this bottom part of the post is part of the post and not the footer, but we didn't really mention this other little bit of text that shows up underneath your footer. That little gem is worth a video all of its own. And finally, we saw that changing the theme will completely overhaul the look of your site. The same information is presented, but with a whole new look and feel. This has been a WP Coffee Break from Southwest Cyberport, a cutting-edge WordPress hosting provider in the heart of the American Southwest. If you need fast, secure, and friendly WordPress hosting, head over to swcp.com/coffee to check us out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future video topics, leave a message in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.